How to stay motivated? First of all, you have to find that energy inside of yourself. Yes, you can. Of course, you have to use external factors as well. Of course, results, other people, coaching, sports, food, whatever. But this should exist inside of yourself. You just have to understand how this mechanism exists, and you have to just connect it. You have to just make it happen. When you find what motivates you, motivation is that thing that you would do anytime, the thing that you would work without money, the thing you would do and you'd pay to do it, the thing that gives you so much pleasure, the things that makes the time stop. And when you're doing that thing, there is only that. So of course it's much easier to find motivation performing the things that you do like. If you try to find motivation in things that you don't like, it's really very hard. And it's not to be real motivation. Maybe it's like goodwill, or of course you can work that. You can find motivation there as well. But you have to have a reward. And this reward, it should be something that you like, that gives you pleasure. Or something that, even if you don't like, but it's like in the path of success in order to achieve that thing that you do like. I think that as well, it can bring some motivation or some extra motivation if you do need to get some motivation. Motivation is also a mindset, and it's practice. It's practice. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. If you want to do something and you don't feel motivated by doing that, try to do a little bit today. For example, if you don't find pleasure in doing sports or abs, let's say, well, set yourself a routine. Do 1 minute today. Do 2 minutes tomorrow. Do 3 minutes after tomorrow. And see yourself in the mirror, for example. And if you try to lose weight, weigh yourself. I mean, try to find some rewards for the thing that you're working on. The thing is, when your motivation is to do something that is toxic for you. For example, if you're motivated to smoke, for example, and you want to do it a lot because you have this motivation, well, this is the thing that's dangerous. So motivation is not only about positive things. It has nothing to do about it, whether it's positive or negative. Motivation is about that extra energy. I wonder, for example, in Brazil, the carnival in Brazil, especially in Rio de Janeiro, most of people that perform on the avenue in Rio de Janeiro during the carnival, most of those people from the favelas, they work hard all the year to find those fantasies and to go for just a few days, using customs. And it's one of the things that I always try to understand. Why that motivation? How can someone work 1 year and rehearse just for being in the avenue 2 or 3 days in the name of your escola de samba, which your samba school, to perform that? But that's the thing. In these 2 or 3 days, those people, they just leave this magic world. They come from the slums, from the favelas, and they can leave that magic world. They can be in the spot of the whole world being broadcasted on TV. They use customs. They're not poor or rich, they're just stars. They're just, from another universe. And so that's the motivation, because the reward is enormous. So that's the thing. If you have extra motivation for things you don't have to do, and if you have lack of motivation for those things you have to do, try to little by little invert that setting of actions. For example, if you have a lot of motivation to smoke, well, you have to not only not smoking because it's really hard, but you have to also you have to see if you can find something to replace smoking, and something that could motivate you as well, something that you could have like a reward. So for example, let's say you don't smoke, each cigarette that you light, for example, you know, like just 2 or 3 seconds after you light the cigarette, for example, you finish the cigarette, and then you don't smoke the rest of it, and then you're going to do something that you don't like, but it's important to you, and then you try to understand the mechanisms. By knowing that you're doing that in those times that you would be doing something good for you, and think honestly, why I can do this and I cannot do that. Well, in case of cigarette, it's more comprehensible, it's easier to understand because you have physical, let's say, motivation, you have physical feelings about smoking. But sometimes it's not physical. For example, when you watch a film that you like, you can be motivated. And if you watch a film that you don't like, it's not a doses of motivation for you. So it's not about only physical things. And I don't believe that it's because of something physical in the nicotine or the smog. There's something there as well in the mindset. You do have to make an exercise of reprogramming your mind. Also, many things that we do are linked, what we in psychology we call anchors. It's linked to something else, and maybe that motivation is a pseudo reward for something that you think that you're receiving. Maybe, for example, using my example, when you're smoking that cigarette, maybe you remind when your father smoked, and maybe your father is not there anymore, and maybe when you smoke that, you receive that feeling. Or maybe when you smoke that cigarette, you remember when the first time your best friend gave you a cigarette to try, for example. And it was, in your teenager, the best times of your life with friends from high school, for example. And then it brings unconsciously that moment. So you have to internalize this process, and you have to analyze why something is bringing motivation to you and something is not bringing motivation to you. And then you can understand the process. Then once you can understand the process, you have to do it. You can find motivations by the exercise of doing something and by the results of that things that you're doing. These two sources, and also by the things that you are not doing that are bringing some good to you. So there are a lot of reasons there to find motivation.